What's good, peeps? Joe Passarelli here, live the Joe Passarelli Show. We're going to have a few videos today. Keep that content going. Want to thank all my subscribers, everybody who have liked the videos, shared the videos. Big shout out to Jason Jasnowski, the Duo Dreamer, and people who have really helped getting the momentum going, especially Duo Dreamer with sharing the Sean's View video and the Triple H video all over. I really appreciate that. But we're getting some momentum, and we're starting to rock and roll, Daddy. But one person, folks, who I know this story, if you're a WWE fan, if you're a Daniel Bryan fan, you can't be happy about this story. Someone who had all the momentum in the world, of course, winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, has seemingly just ran into one wall after the other. I mean, first he has to lose a week of TV for the honeymoon, and that's, it's good. Congratulations to him and Brie, but at the same time, that's 1 week less of him on TV as the champion. And then the whole thing with his dad, he has to leave, unfortunately, the unfortunate passing of his father a few weeks ago. And now to have this neck issue, which of course was broke throughout various internet sources, early Monday afternoon before Raw, Daniel Bryan shooting and making the announcement that he's having surgery this Thursday on his neck. And WWE and people really don't know what to make of the situation. Notice on television they've been very quiet about the status of the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's one thing that for me, I noticed, and I was just waiting. I'm like, when are they going to make an announcement? Why are they avoiding this? It was odd, because every other time a champion has announced they're injured, usually they relinquish the title. Whether that be Shawn Michaels, whether that be Dave Bautista, etc., etc. There's been multiple times where wrestlers have had to forfeit the title due to injury. Of course, Dolph Ziggler is a perfect example of someone who had a lot of momentum last year and ran into a wall, and the injuries came at the worst time. And just when he cashed in the Money in the Bank and won the World Heavyweight Championship day after Mania, it hit the wall for him. And obviously Dolph Ziggler is one of those guys that the YWC has gotten behind. And the same thing, of course, with Daniel Bryan going back to Ring of Honor. Really, everybody's been on the Bryan train since he got fired initially from the Nexus for choking out Justin Roberts. That's when the Daniel Bryan chants first began. And you got to think Daniel Bryan's going to come back strong from this whenever he does come back. But if Daniel Bryan, after the journey that he has, is forced to relinquish the title, it's not going to be good for him and his prospects, guys. It's really not. It's not going to be best for business. I mean, Daniel Bryan fought tooth and nail to get to this point, to really prove that he is an A-plus player, as they say in the storyline, and now he might have to relinquish the title. Well, as we saw on Raw, they didn't really mention any of that, but there has been statements of the WWE since then. I actually received a Snapchat from the WWE's account yesterday with the WWE World Title saying all it said was Monday. So that to me was a clue, was okay, looks like they're going to address it this Monday on Raw. And then I saw the weekly interview with Michael Cole and Triple H on YouTube and WWE.com. And Triple H said that that issue would be addressed on Raw as well. And, of course, took his little kayfabe shots at him and went, he's in the A-plus player seat now, and he's already got wear and tear after a month of being champion, which, after all, is valid points. I mean, you can't say Triple H is wrong here. I mean, people have injuries, people got to work through injuries, and obviously neck injuries are serious. And the thing is that this is supposed to be a routine cleanup thing, and maybe he's not going to miss more than a few weeks, and he'll be back ready to defend the title for Money in the Bank in Boston, by the way. But really, it's a disheartening situation, and I actually have a solution for the WWE. I'll get to that in a minute, or a suggestion that I think. But obviously, we'll get a lot more clarity of this on Raw. My thoughts and prayers go out to Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. I hope the surgery goes well. I mean, we've seen situations like Edge went for a routine checkup and found out right after WrestleMania, after wrestling Alberto Del Rio and retaining the World Heavyweight Championship, that he was going to have to be forced to retire. Steve Austin bowed out quietly, obviously, after battling neck injuries, which severely, let's face it, between the neck and the knee injuries, Steve Austin could have had an 8 to 10 year run like Hogan. like Cena. But unfortunately, that was not to be due to the injuries. And Bryan, I do believe, is someone who is here for the long term, is more of a CM Punk than an Eddie Guerrero, if you will. No disrespect to the late, great Eddie Guerrero. Love him, one of my favorite WWE champions of all time. But certainly this is tough. Daniel Bryan's momentum certainly going to get cut short. I do have, like I said, one solution. WWE can actually copycat one of their favorite things they like to emulate nowadays, and that's UFC. They can have an interim champion. They've already done this once before, when CM Punk won the WWE title from John Cena in Chicago at Money in the Bank, and he walked out of the company, and they had the little tournament there, and Rey Mysterio was the interim title, and of course, they couldn't even let Mysterio hold the title for longer than an hour, and Super Cena defeated Mysterio for Mysterio's last heavyweight championship run in the WWE, at least his only WWE championship. But, unbelievable. Daniel Bryan, if they were to come up with an interim championship, Daniel Bryan could still be the champion, and they could do a tournament, maybe, and they could really, what good they can do is they can get a new guy over. They could do maybe a King of the Ring tournament and have that guy win the interim championship. Maybe it could be Cesaro, the King of Swing. If you look at his new t-shirt, kind of has a design reminiscent of the old school King of the Ring logo. That'd be a perfect way for Cesaro to get in the main event picture. We all know big things are in store for him. You know, obviously the names, Roman Reigns, etc., etc. Bray Wyatt, I think, would be incredible to be inserted in the main event picture, especially if he defeats John Cena at Payback, which I really hope he does. And that'll be an even bigger match now that Bryan can't most likely compete at the WWE Payback pay-per-view. But crown an interim champion, do a tournament. It saves face for Daniel Bryan. That way you have a ready-made match at Money in the Bank, and you can even have a ladder match to unify the titles at Money in the Bank. Instead of having two Money in the Bank matches, have a ladder match for the interim and the WWE World Heavyweight Championships. I mean, maybe they'd have to get rid of the world title at that point. 3 belts on one. Structure seems a bit much and a bit overkill. But, what do you guys think? Do you think the WWE should come up with a solution, like making a tournament and coming up with an interim heavyweight championship? Should the WWE strip Daniel Bryan? Is Daniel Bryan hurting his run and hurting his legacy by having surgery this early? And is this really giving rise and giving truth to what Triple H has been saying, that Daniel Bryan is a B-plus player, not an A-plus player? He can't carry the torch. Second he got a chance to carry the torch, his neck is injured. Boom, he's right there with the Edges and all the rest of the guys that Triple H has taken shots at in the past. But my thoughts and prayers go out to Daniel Bryan, and I really hope that he comes out of this okay, and he can hold on to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I do want to say, if they strip him, I completely understand. I don't know if the rest of y'all out there will have a brain aneurysm, but I personally completely understand. I mean, if he really is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks... I mean, they used to have the rule that no title defenses in 30-plus days, you get stripped of the title. Ask Dean Ambrose about that. That don't really exist anymore, but at the same time, it would be a way as well for them to get the title off Bryan, and Bryan not to lose really face. And furthermore, like, maybe they'll keep Bryan on TV and try to play him up like Steve Austin did. When he had the neck injury, and they kept him on TV, and that's where all the great stuff happened with the beer trucks and the monster trucks and the cement truck and all the great gimmicks that Steve Austin did. It was something for him to do while his neck was injured, while he could still be on TV and get momentum, but not wrestle. That could actually help Daniel Bryan and maybe help him. But what are you really gonna do? Have him come out with a yes truck? I mean, have him come with a herd of goats? I mean, I don't know, you know, WWE, they'll find some weird gimmick and make it weird, and it won't be as authentic as the Steve Austin Attitude Era, but that's just another solution to do with Daniel Bryan during this injury situation. Certainly, it's big news. I know maybe the WWE would be interested in contacting CM Punk and getting him out of retirement. Rumors is AJ Lee is going to be coming back to the company, maybe at Money in the Bank, so maybe CM Punk comes with at that point. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, but obviously WWE now, with Cena really in a mid-card role, and the de-evolution of Evolution, if you will, and I'll get to that in another video. But, really kind of lacking main event players, and they really need to get these guys ready, whether it's Roman Reigns, whether it's Bray Wyatt, Big E, which I highly doubt. If you saw what happened to Big E on Raw, Rusev destroying Big E in 2 seconds. But what do you guys think? Like, subscribe, Joe Passarelli, y'all already know. Keep it real and keep it moving. More videos coming. Peace.